All right, so I'm currently on the phone with Joelle. He's another musician that reached out about the interview series. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the chance to introduce himself.
Hi guys, my name is Joelle. I am 30 years old, currently living in Los Angeles, California. Been here for about 5 years, and really just been working on my craft and networking out here. And I actually started releasing music professionally in November of 2020. Yeah, it's been a journey. I've learned a lot. I've released 7 songs up until this point, 4 originals, 3 remixes. um Geez, I've learned how to kind of do everything. And yeah, it's just a process, and I'm in the race. So I'm really happy to be here and be able to talk about everything I'm working on and kind of my story.
Awesome, very cool. So I always like to, get into the nitty gritty about these things. When did you first find music, and what about it really inspired you to want to be a part of it?
That's a great question. Well, I always tell everybody that like I was born and raised in the church, and I always heard about like the Holy Spirit, and like, it's like this like supernatural feeling. And I actually never experienced that, but the closest thing that I have to that or to compare that to is music. Like I've always felt so moved by music. I've always felt like it was just like another force. I felt so connected to it, and it was something that it's hard to put in words, and I'm sure people out there who experience the same thing can relate. But yeah, it's just my love for music really that made me kind of want to jump in.
Excellent. Was there anything like growing up or like outside of the church that, kind of instinctually struck you about music as a method of communicating a personality?
I'm sure, yeah. I'm always very like animated. I was very dramatic as a little kid, and I would definitely use music to do that. I would always try and hit like high notes. I'm a vocalist, so I like would always try and like achieve those notes and just be like really out there and just very charismatic. And music kind of always, went around that. It was kind of always with me, and people who knew me knew that I would always sing, and that I loved music, and that I can talk for hours about every part of the industry and just music and just everything about it. I could go on for days about it. So yeah, I think that it
Sure.
definitely was embedded in my personality.
Sure. So once you did kind of decide that you were going to pursue music, what kind of led you down the path of being a vocalist and expressing yourself that way?
I don't know. I think it's just like imitation, right? Like you hear things, you hear people sing songs in certain ways, and you kind of attempt to do it. And I guess you either, had the natural God given talent, or you learn how to do it. And then once you see that you can like kind of, handle those runs and have range and have tone and, be on pitch and everything, then you kind of, start to, devil into that world where you're like, okay, let me try and, take classes and learn and develop, my voice as a vocalist.
Okay. And along those kind of same lines, similar questioning, how did you kind of figure out the type of content that you wanted to make, like the message you wanted to send? What did you want to sing about?
Sure, yeah. So I just kind of started from the ground up. So I just listened to a few beats. I kind of, you know, uh, decided kind of what mood I wanted to go with, just based on the fact that like I'm a songwriter as well. So I tend to be able to write about like personal experiences and stuff very easily. So I knew that I wanted to sing about, the things that I was going through, and not just like, partying or going out or stuff like that. And just growing up, I always listened to R&B and pop. My dad would always kind of had that those genres around me, so just naturally that's what I liked. And I knew I wanted to sing about something. So I'm an R&B pop artist. Um, yeah, I get a lot of that from kind of like my childhood, and just what I actually like too in music is R&B and pop.
Sure, definitely. And so, kind of describe a little bit about how you started to pursue that. Did you seek out producers? Did you do your own recordings? Like, how did you get your feet wet?
So I came to LA about 5 years ago, and I did meet with a producer at an actual studio. And it didn't really go well just because I feel like we just didn't collaborate well. And that was the first year that I was out here, and I kind of like let it go. I kind of put it on the back burner and just kind of try to establish the rest of my life here in LA. And then in November of 2020 last year, I went through a really shitty situation with a relationship, and I'm like, you know what, this is, I want to sing about this. I want to get this out there. And so I reached out to an artist that I know that also produces. His name is Guess, and I told him, I was like, hey, how do I do this? You know, like how do you get your music to sound like it does? How do you, what's your process? And can you help me? And he did. So um, we actually went online. There's a website called BeatStars. Not a lot of people know about it, but producers put their music up there. Their beats, their instrumentals, they put them all up there, and you can actually just go on there and listen. Put the genre, put the BPM, put whatever kind of specification you want, and it'll narrow it down to. So there's a lot of content on there. So um, yeah, like you'll have options based on like your genre and etc. And yeah, we listened to a few, we picked one that we liked, and then we just started writing. He's a producer, so he has, and an engineer, so he has a knowledge of how to how to technically like record a song. But no, I didn't do it myself. I had the help of him, and luckily he had been doing it for a while, so he really helped me kind of figure out what it takes, right, to take a song from inception to final product, in terms of finding a beat, recording the vocals, mixing and mastering. If you want to put it out on platforms, you have a single cover. If you want to do a music video, what does that entail? So he kind of did it all. So he kind of helped me navigate through that.
Excellent. And so, is that the current project that you're in, or are you still working with that producer?
Right now I have a song coming out. It's called Another Try, and he did produce that, which would make 5 songs that he produced. But I'm in LA, and there's a lot of people out here doing things as well. So I kind of want to, like, collaborate with other people and see what they can contribute to my sound, and how it can grow. He was definitely like a huge he was like the foundation of my music, because I released 5 songs with him. Um, but like I've been here for a little bit, so I've made other connections, and I want to explore those as well.
Okay. And so, what would you say is the current project that you have where, you're currently active, recording, putting stuff out?
So I just go by singles. So I made the mistake of like having a really huge goal. I'm like, I'm gonna release an EP, 4 songs, and that was like, I luckily I was able to do it, but it was like a really big goal that I kind of didn't pace myself for. But after I released that, I kind of just am on a single, you know, um, journey. I just kind of want to pick a vibe and then release it, and then do something else. My song Another Try is definitely a lot more dance. It's a lot more upbeat. It's a lot more positive. My other 4 songs that I released were really emo, and were very kind of like me, like in a dark place. So Another Try is completely different. And then I'm working on another song after that, which is completely different. So um, yeah, in terms of what projects I have coming up, I'm always going to have a new single to promote and a new song, and hopefully it'll be a new, fresh sound, different than what I've done.
Sure, definitely. So, tell me about. You did mention that you are open to working with other people, and that that's the path that you want to go down and network and everything. But give me a kind of a higher level description of where you'd like to see your career go. Where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. I don't know. Before everybody wanted to be signed, right? Like that was the goal, to be signed under a label. But nowadays I feel like everybody's, pushing the independent route. So I don't know. I definitely think that I want to find a place that can kind of like take a few of the jobs that I do off of my plate. Um, and a label would essentially do that. And I just feel like I would feel more comfortable being backed and funded by a label. So I would say within the next 5, 10 years, I would want to be sign to a label or have some kind of distribution deal or something where they alleviate, either monetarily or, just finding the connections that I need to release my music, because it's a lot. It's a lot to handle by myself.
It is. It is. Especially the independent route. It takes so much work for just one person to do it.
Oh my God, I know it's a lot, but it's so fulfilling. Though I'll tell you that it's really fulfilling.
It is. It takes like a certain personality type to be self-starting like that, but the accomplishment that you get from it is very fulfilling.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Awesome. So, what are some of your favorite memories in the time that you've known music, whether it be back in the church days or working with a producer? What keeps you motivated?
Um, what keeps me motivated? I don't know, I guess the just the journey, like where can this go, right? Like I have no idea. Um, and I guess that mystery is what I kind of want to try and solve and figure out. Like the industry is crazy. There's really no like equation to be successful. But yeah, I just think the possibility for success keeps me motivated because I feel like I'm on the right track. I've released music and I love the quality and I've gotten really good feedback from it. Um, and that's great. And that's kind of, you need other things, but that is very important, right? For people to like it and for it to be of quality is really important to me. So yeah, I just, the unknown, but the possibilities for success keep me motivated to keep going and trying to, win this game.
Sure, sure, definitely. Um, so you mentioned that you do have some tracks out there. Where can people listen to that? And what are you excited about them?
They've been out for a while. My 4 songs have been out for a while, and the videos as well. So you can hear all. So I have an EP. It's called About You. It includes 4 songs. It's available on all streaming platforms. They all have music videos, which are on YouTube under Joelle Bryan. Um, I literally forgot what the second part of your question.
Basically, throughout your social media, and then also, give a brief description about, why you're excited about those tracks and to continue releasing tracks.
Yeah. So the songs that I have, I'm super proud of what I did, and I'm excited about them because they're all me. They all tell stories with things that I've gone through. I've written all of them, um, and like I said, I had my hands in from the beginning to the end in them. So like I really value what I was able to do with them, and like I said, people like them. So that is just like the icing on the cake. Um, and in terms of moving forward, with my song Another Try, I'm really excited about that one because, like I said, it's upbeat, it's dance, it's something that I've never done. In the music video, I am affectionate with a guy, which is something that kind of I chose not to have emphasis on in my previous work, just because I wasn't really comfortable with it. So I'm excited moving forward to like be more me and to experiment with new sounds and to be positive and be upbeat and show that side of me too. Because everybody always tells me they're like, all your songs are like so emo and like you were clearly in your feelings, and I'm like, I really was. Um, but we're moving forward now, and I'm excited for this new sound.
Excellent. And so I always like to give the person that I'm interviewing the opportunity to put out their last word. So just a message that you feel you vibe with and you want to throw out there.
I feel like we're all people. We're all trying to make it out here and just be kind. Um, I've like met really cool people in the industry. I've met really like weird people in the industry, or advantageous people in the industry. And I would just say like, just be kind, treat people the way you want to be treated. And everybody has a dream. And if you can be a part of helping them make that come true, then that's what you should do. So that's what I got to say.